principle of representative democracy.
I know there are going to be a lot of questions, so let me just ask you one more. You mentioned some points where you thought the UK was going wrong. We have the budget next week, where the Chancellor is expected to bring in a lot of tax rises and is grappling with the rising size of the state here. These are principles you've argued against all your life. Is this somewhere where you think the UK is going wrong?
Well, I would just caution friends about ignoring the real threat to the long-term security and prosperity of both of our countries, and that's public debt. And let me, before
I have to say the U.S. is in a worse position than the UK on that.
I was about to say, before I criticize my friends, when I arrived in Congress, our national debt was $3 or $4 trillion. It's $38 trillion today and rising. When I ran for president back in 2023, not so where you'd notice. But it was a rich experience. But I think only of the 8 candidates in that primary, not counting the one that won, only 2 of us were talking about the national debt. Only 2 of us were talking about the only real way to solve the national debt is with compassionate reforms of the entitlement programs that consume more than 80% of federal spending. Now, why did I open that up by saying the greatest threat to our security and prosperity? And the reason is, I think it was back in 2005, the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff was testifying before a committee I served on in Congress, and he was asked, what's the greatest threat to America's national security? And then, 20 years ago, he said, the national debt. 2 years ago was the first time in American history that we spent more money on interest on our national debt than we did on our national defense. I would say to you, don't look to us as a good example. But I would urge friends across the pond here, maybe lead like Great Britain has done before. You know, a lot of times I say that good ideas sometimes follow the sun across the Atlantic. And I'm not just talking about the Beatles. But policies that echo and they come to the West and they impact. I would love to see the people of Great Britain call upon their leadership to lead on the kind of fiscal reforms that will put us back on a sustainable path. I'll continue to be a voice for that in our country, but I think we have a moral obligation to lift this mountain range of debt off our children and grandchildren for our security and our prosperity, and I'll continue to champion it.
Thank you very much. Let's go to